Welcome into your ESPN Headline. I'm Tony Collins alongside ESPN NFL insider Jared Bell. With Jared, we're talking Jets, we're talking Ed Reed, and while many fans question whether he should remain a starter, Reed has said that he's still pretty darn good and he would even consider playing 2 more years in the NFL. Now, Jared, do you think it's time for Reed to consider retirement?
Consider it. He has in the past. This past couple of years in Baltimore, once he got to the offseason, he really had to make a decision. He's had an assortment of injuries. So he's at that point where it's kind of wait and see, go year to year. If he comes out and says, hey, I think I can play a couple more years, that is an indication that he wants to continue playing. So good. I think the other thing that's really important is that he's in a real comfort zone with the Jets. Houston, obviously not the place for him. He got reunited with Rex Ryan and with Jets defensive coordinator Dennis Thurman, who were in Baltimore for an extensive portion of Reed's career. So from that standpoint, it might make sense. Now we'll see what happens health-wise. The other thing, Tony, you look at the Jets, a team that's struggling, and there's no guarantee that Rex Ryan will be back next year, so that's another part of this equation. But what can he do for them now is really the key because, they're in a dogfight hoping to get one of those final wild card spots in the AFC.
Reed, a future Hall of Famer, why do you think we saw that big dramatic drop from the Ravens to the Jets, the Texans and the Jets?
Yeah, I think it's health. I think that's part of it. Going to Houston, you're in a different situation. You remember last year he was hurt, for an extensive portion of the season, got healthy for the playoffs, as did Ray Lewis, and then all of a sudden they got, and Terrell Suggs, so they got their people back, and then all of a sudden they go and they win the Super Bowl. I think that's always the hope if you're in contention that you can get your people playing at a peak and get them, physically healthy at the right time. So that's part of it. In terms of the drop-off, the one thing that Ed Reed hasn't lost is his ability to diagnose an offense. Now, can he get there as fast as he used to? Of course not. But sometimes the mental edge that you have can make up for some of the physical limitations. But again, the fact that he says, hey, I feel good enough to play a couple more years, that at least tells you what he's thinking.
Well, and this weekend they take on the Raiders. How do you see that matchup? How important is it for the Jets?
Oh, it's important. The Jets' big problems have been on the other side of the football with the offense and turnovers. And I think they're the team that has to look at every game they play as hoping that the defense kind of keeps them in the game and their offense can make enough plays or the defense can make a few plays to win the game. I think that's the case again against the Raiders. One thing about the Raiders, not a very good road team, not very good traveling from west to east. I think they've lost 12 in a row in the Eastern time zone. So if you're the Jets, maybe that's a good sign. But then again, if you look at your offense and all those turnovers, not a good sign.
We'll definitely see what happens this weekend. Jared Bell with the Insight. Catch more of Jared on ESPN NFL Insiders at 3 p.m. I'm Tony Collins with your ESPN Headline.